the breathe in is the actual action of capturing everything, and the breathe out is getting this edit done, and you're having a bit of, well, not peace, but a bit of peace around yourself, so you can concentrate and get that done to how it's meant to be. So
there's a prison that had been sunken in like some sort of quarry where they like bust a dam, and there's all sorts of weird stuff going on in Estonia. That was really fun. Hello and welcome to MindFilmed, the show where we talk about the creative side of making content. I'm Toby, and today I'm joined by my fellow filmmaker, trusted co-conspirator and fellow Norfolkian, Mr. Michael Foxwell.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Now, between us, we've made what feels like a small mountain of video content over the years, from international branded podcasts to rainy shoots in Glaswegian bus stations. But today we're stripping it back and chatting through something a bit more personal, our favourite types of content to actually make.
Not the most successful or the most polished, just the ones that we put our hands up for every time.
So much of what we do is about client goals, formats, KPIs, but every now and then a brief lands on the desk and it just sparks some of that creative brain magic and you remember why you picked up a camera in the first place.
Exactly, and that's why we're going to share our top 3 types of content to make and why they get our brains firing.
All right, awesome. So with that, let's jump into our favourite content types to make. So Michael, let's get started with you. What's top of your list? Or are we doing it in reverse order or are we doing it in favourite first? I think we go, or have you even thought of order?
I haven't really thought about it. I thought about the one which springs to mind first.
Yeah, to be fair, I haven't really done order either. I've just sort of, picked 3. So okay, what's your first one?
My first one is actually a nice collaboration between a couple of teams within the company. It's Content Solutions Video. And the reason why I chose that one is because, 1, they're really fun to make. 2, they're kind of chaotic, like we organise the videos and the script and the structure and everything else. But because we're usually working with presenters or we're working with members of the public, you kind of never know what you're going to get. You're also restricted to time in the editing process of it as well, which I really like. So you've got those restrictions there. So really good example of one is actually one that I filmed last week. It was called The Shopping Showdown, where we gave 2 listeners the opportunity to come into a shopping centre and race around different shops to look for an item. And we had a brilliant presenter, Rezi, and ultimately they win something at the end of it. So that's a really fun element to it. And the setup was I had my Sony FX3. I even put a little action cam on one of the on the contestants, so he had a point of view angle to edit with, as well as my filming around the shops. And it is chaotic. I love that about it though. It's exciting. It's always fun, and it's just a piece of video that you can always have fun with. And the social edits are always fun as well.
Nice. Yeah, I understand that, and it's interesting actually. My first one that I've picked is branded content, and I know branded content's like it can cover like a lot of bases, but I mean branded content in that it's different to commercials, let's say. But anything where you can like find a little interesting story that like connects to a brand, and I think the content solution videos that we make are like a really good example of that sort of thing. But yeah, I think I totally understand like wanting to like get in there and it just finding that story to tell and like creating something for a brand that isn't necessarily like your straightforward ad. Like I think that's what my first selection is too. So I think it's I do think the content solutions videos we make fall in that category as well, which is interesting. And I think like across my career, even like not even just in like MindFilmed and CC UK, I think I've been really lucky to work on some really cool pieces of branded content. Like I worked on a partnership between Extreme and Facebook, and we went out and we made like 4 like long form series where we got to just go out and do all sorts of stuff. And because the brand was like Extreme, like it just meant that we could, as long as it fitted with that brand, like we could go out and do some really crazy things, and we did. So that was fun. But
what did you do for it?
So the one that I was most directly involved in was a series called Destination X, and it was essentially exploration of street art around Europe, like street art and abandoned places. So we had a trip to Estonia. So we went to Estonia and we looked at like an abandoned sub pen, and like they had like this amazing building that they used for the sailing part of their Olympics, which actually they just shot, is it Tenet? Tenet, Tenet or Tenant for Christopher, the Nolan film, like
Yes.
a few months before. It is Christopher Nolan, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Good.
Should we Google it?
Yeah, we'll check that. I'll
Probably is.
put a little caption in if I've got it wrong. Anyway, he was there filming that film about time what goes backwards in that location a couple of weeks before we were there. And then there was like an abandoned prison with like a creepy doctor's wing, and just all sorts of like there was a prison that had been sunken in like some sort of quarry where they like bust a dam, and there's all sorts of weird stuff going on in Estonia. That was really fun. And then we did quite a lot around like the UK. So we went to like London. There's like a street near Waterloo Station that's really famous for graffiti. And to create the title for the show, we got some graffiti artists to spray paint like the title Destination X on the wall.
Nice.
But like the thing about it, that is like it gets painted and repainted so many times that we painted it on like the afternoon like one day, and by the morning of the next day someone had painted over it. So like we got like all the film of it happening and stuff, but that was a really cool series, and that one was for Extreme, and it was just in partnership with Facebook. It was really cool.
I like it. I think the common element there is collaboration between your artists and your brands there. Same with how we're using the Atria Watford. It's actually Harlequin Watford now, and using different elements of people and kind of cultures in the way to kind of create something cool there. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool. What's your number two?
Number two, I really love making these. It's animations, and I'm not on about Pixar animations. I can't do that kind of stuff. But it's your motion graphic animations. So I'm going to put my hands up here. My weakness is I'm not the best designer. So we work with a design team, and I love it when I'm given design assets to use in my animations, because it gives me like almost a puzzle that I have to piece together in order to make something interesting. And again, these animations are usually, they've got a 10-second cutoff, a 20-second cutoff, and it just gives me a blank canvas to be creative and actually create something really cool from start to finish. And again, there's that element of collaboration there. So using someone's skill set, which isn't my strongest skill set, but then I can take those assets and turn them into something that I am skilled at, which is animations. And I love it because you kind of never know where it's going to end up. You can always have a plan, but there's always tweaks that you make throughout, which makes something look interesting and engaging, and ultimately you want to capture the attention of the audience. And I love making those types of animations. Some examples is when we did the SPT TV ad, given a batch of design assets there for the My Glasgow, My Subway, and making that into someone else's idea into what it became. I loved it.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think animation's so versatile as well. I think because like there's an opportunity to show things that don't exist, or like concepts that are like more broad than just like what you can point a camera at, I think is a strength of animation. But yeah, that's really cool.
For sure. You can do it on the road too, which is always fun.
Yeah. My second one's documentary.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I absolutely love, like, one of my favorite ways to make a film is to like plan an activity and then just have cameras there to like see how it unfolds. And like just the amount of like I think that in those instances, like, it's really important to build like a crew that has really good rapport and like have really like interesting and engaging like talent and people that you're filming. But like if you can pull all those things together, which we know we can because like we work with a lot of really great people, then just the amount of really amazing content that you can like get from those scenarios is just the best and most fun thing to make. So my key example being the piece that we made for Visit Malta, when we took Phil Tufnell and his wife to Malta for a few days and literally crammed in as much tourism stuff as possible in like a 4-day trip, from like ancient ruins to like 5-star restaurants and pretty much everything in between, like, and just running around with those guys and Phil being an absolute pro and like doing a really great job of even like the pieces to camera in between, and like it just being like so much fun, like really, really intense and hard work, but like you just get the privilege of like doing all those interesting things in between. Like that's always a highlight for me.
The thing about the documentary stuff is it is what it is. It's always really authentic and natural, and little moments in time which are captured. So I really love that, and it's often really beautiful footage as well that you end up capturing, because just the world as it is, and the people as they are, and these experiences that you're experiencing. So always good fun.
Yeah, banging. Cool. All right, what's third and final on the list for you, Michael?
My third and final one on the list is podcasting videos. And more recently, when we went to Paris Olympics, where we filmed a podcast for World Athletics, same in Bahamas, same in Glasgow. That challenge of bringing a podcast studio either up the road or overseas, like we did with Paris and the Bahamas, was really interesting. And again, working with like top class athletes who are now presenters, pundits, that element of surprise, and you never know what you're going to get on the day type thing. Also, the chaos of having to turn around a full podcast episode and social edits within the day, within a few hours actually, so that it's ready to go to sum up the day, was really interesting. And it comes with its own challenges of the setup and what kind of space you're going to be given on the day, and what's your lighting situation like, but everybody comes together as a team, and your producers and your gaffers, and it's just fun. I can't say any more than that. It's just so fun. And obviously, Toby, you were there for all of those. So what did you make of them?
Oh my god, yeah. The World Athletics like video podcast series that we created was absolutely, I mean, career highlight. Like that's how big a deal it was. I think we were really, really lucky with all of it. Like not only like, going to the Glasgow one was cool enough because that was like the World Indoor Championship. So there was like some really big deals and like things going on. But the best thing about all of those projects is that they were in the run up to the Olympics. So I mean, the second leg of the project was in the Bahamas, so that was a bonus. So we challenge one, get a video podcast like kit out to the Bahamas and record it like on location, basically under the seats of a stadium. Like challenge enough, but like absolutely worth it. And like we got some really amazing footage and like really great content while we were there. And then all of that running into like a huge production that ran alongside like the Olympics in Paris. And I mean, I've been to Paris before. Like I mentioned before, I went to Paris and shot some of the Destination X stuff there. And it was like an entirely different city. Just to be there like while the Olympics are on, and be there like for a work project, like meeting loads of really interesting people and talking to them about their achievements and what they wanted to do. Like, yeah, just such like really great work to like be involved with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was really inspiring being surrounded by all the athletes, especially the presenters who had just had so much knowledge about their topic. So it made it really easy for us to be able to do our job, which is the filming and the editing, because they just rolled on with all the stats and everything, all the knowledge that they had about everything. So it did make our lives really easy and so fun to work on.
Yeah. I like definitely would love to be doing more of that. World Athletics, if you're watching.
Yeah, absolutely. What is your third one?
Third one for me is actually entirely the opposite of the second one. And I really like making TVCs. And the reason is because it's a totally different challenge because of like how structured you have to be. Like a TVC, like a commercial TVC shoot is an entirely different ball game to a documentary shoot, because I am working within a 20 or 30 second window. Like I have really specific messages that I need to deliver in that time. And like, it's likely that I'll have every detail of every shot plotted to like the nth degree and know exactly what I need to capture. And I think that taking the like sometimes we're on a TV shoot, like you can take the time to like make every shot like really sing and like add like proper production value to the shots and make it look really good. And I think that brings on like a whole new level of challenge to like filmmaking that I really enjoy. And again, we get to work with really talented people like new camera operator or like specialist camera operators and gaffers and all the different people who come in and help us make those happen. But like it's just like it's almost like an organizational challenge that's like really enjoyable as much as anything else. So yeah, I like it when you get a juicy TV ad for a 30-second piece that's going out to X number of homes and they've got this thing that they need to deliver. I really like pulling that together and then making it happen and then just getting in the edit and like making it really tight and a nice commercial piece.
Yeah, and everything's every shot is purposeful and there for a reason. Like not that we would fill things up anyway, but it's there for a reason. I also, within these shoots, I really like just taking a step back for a moment and just watching everybody. Like you've got your gaffer setting up your lights and your camera op doing his settings on and DOP doing all these different things. The makeup artists and the clothing, wardrobe people, logistics people. It's very inspiring just to take a step back and just look at everybody ferrying around. We're like a army of ants going around doing our jobs. It's also really nice to be able to use some kit that I wouldn't traditionally have in my house, and to really use that and really good fun.
Yeah, when we can step it up and like bring in some specialist bits, that's always good fun. I think I like this the one of my favorite ones that we've done was the Simple Life Homes shoot that we did, and we had on the first day we had 15 people, at least 15 people on set, or like 15 bods on set, shall we say, because one of them was a dog, and then there's like the dog handler, and then the dog handler brought her husband and another dog. The second dog wasn't on set, but we had to like figure out where they were going to sit because it's like also an active built-in site, and then two couples and a film crew and a photography crew and clients and all sorts of people, just like a big production, all coming together to like make this like really beautiful, like heartfelt story about people like moving into their homes and like finding like this lifestyle that's on offer. That again, like that's what I really love and enjoy putting together.
Yeah, like you mentioned it earlier, but just the second element to that, which is you've got all your footage and you've got all your A cam and B cams and all different angles. Taking that away and doing the edit, then I think that's like it's kind of like the breathe in is the actual action of capturing everything, and the breathe out is right getting this edit done and having a bit of, well, not peace, but a bit of peace around yourself so you can concentrate and get that done to how it's meant to be. So good fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like looking back over the last few minutes of our three choices, I think that there's some common themes. I think like for me anyway, it's storytelling. Like I think stories like really really important, and then I think the other thing that we probably both enjoy is craft. Like I think like whether that's like the skill of like the one-man band like getting out and running around, or like the skill of the producer bringing everyone together to like create something bigger than like would be possible as an individual. Like I think like that's really great, and I don't think either way, as long as the stories that we find and we create ring true through those creations, then I think that's what I find really satisfying.
I love it. Makes me want to go out and shoot. Thinking about
but we're sitting in and shooting right now. This is
that's true. Very much.
Yeah, exactly. Another example. I really like making individual video podcasts in my office.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, cool. All right. Well, that's been absolutely awesome. Thank you for running through it. And then, stay tuned. All right, that's our top 3 each. We'd love to hear from anyone listening. What kind of content do you love making, not just watching? Drop us a DM or comment wherever you're listening.
And if you're a client, you know what to brief us on next.
We'll catch you next time.